Hello people on the internet, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about First Drop of Crimson by Jeaniene Frost, and this is book 1 in the Night Huntress World duology, I believe it is. I believe there's only 2 books in this series. So, as the series name might suggest, this book takes place in the Night Huntress world. It takes place in the same universe as the Night Huntress series. So there is quite a bit of overlap between this and the series with Bones and Cat. I am reading this based on the reading order list that's on the author's website. Just based on what I've read in this one, there are definitely spoilers for the Night Huntress World books. So if you have not read the first 4 books in the Night Huntress series, I would probably suggest reading those first before jumping into this one, because there is definitely a decent spoiler for the 4th one in this book. So, in this book, we are following 2 different characters. We are not following Cat and Bones, though we do see a bit of them in this book. We are actually following Spade, one of Bones' best friends, and one of the guys who was turned with him, and Denise, Cat's best friend. And when I found that out, I was pretty excited because I do enjoy Spade's character. I wanted to learn a bit more about him, like why he was sent to the colonies in Australia before he was turned, because I was curious about that. And just, I was curious to see like how Denise was, just based on stuff that happened to her the last couple books. This poor woman has had a lot thrown at her. So it was nice to see some of the toll that took on her and just how she was holding up mentally. Not too great considering she was having panic attacks, she was having flashbacks, she does suffer PTSD, which is not that surprising considering the stuff she's gone through. It was just nice to kind of get a little check-in to see how these 2 characters were doing. As much as I love Cat and Bones, it is nice to take a little break to kind of check out some different characters from time to time. And I hope to see much more of these 2 in future Night Huntress books. I know we'll be following different characters in the other book in this series / duology, which kind of makes me sad, but at the same time, awesome to get another point of view. I don't want to say too much without giving spoilers in this book, but yeah, I did enjoy this book. It was a nice addition to this world that Jeaniene Frost has made. It was cool kind of being able to see things through a different perspective, especially from Denise's perspective. Like, even in the first Night Huntress book, Cat knew about vampires before we started with her. She had known about them for a few years. She was no stranger to like blood and horror and gore and just the nastiness of this undead world. Denise was kind of thrown into this not too long ago in comparison to Cat. And yeah, she knew things weren't that great. I mean, her and Cat met because Denise was attacked by a vampire who meant to drink her to death. So she knew like this world wasn't sunshine and roses to begin with. But still, in the Night Huntress world, she was kind of thrown into things pretty fast. Things got real fast in such a short amount of time, and with such a traumatic experience with the New Year's party. Just, she wasn't as prepared as Cat was to face that kind of thing. And to boot, she's human, unlike Cat, who was half vampire. So it was interesting to get like a fully human point of view. And I don't feel there is too much more I can say without giving spoilers. Like the Night Huntress books, this is kind of more like an urban fantasy paranormal romance sort of deal. So it is in no way young adult. So keep that in mind if you're going into this. So if you're debating reading this, keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm just gonna go into a spoilery bit now. So if you have not gotten far in the Night Huntress universe, I highly suggest you click away now and come back when you catch up. So I have found that I deeply enjoy Spade and Denise's relationship. I think they work well together, and it does make me glad to see these 2 characters who have experienced great loss with loved ones, how they manage to come together, and I enjoy how they have that kind of loss to bond over. And also I just love how there's that mutual agreement of, I'm not gonna be jealous over this past love of yours. They were a big part of your life. They were an important part of your life. They helped make you who you are today. So I can't be jealous over that. I know you'll always miss them, and that's fine. So I like how they both kind of have that mutual, like, understanding of that, because that is so very, very true. When death takes a loved one, you never stop loving them, no matter how much time has passed. And frankly, anyone who holds that against you is a trash person and should not be in your life, in my opinion. Especially if that loved one was taken so violently and suddenly, such as the case of Randy and Giselle. And can I just say, the epilogue where Denise is visiting Randy's grave to talk to him and say goodbye, I got emotional during that, and I'm actually getting a little choked up remembering it. It was really touching, and I'm a sucker for crap like that. And as much as I hate lack of communication to cause drama, that's like a huge pet peeve of mine, especially when the characters are adults and should know better. I do feel like the few instances of misunderstood communication between Spade and Denise were understandable given the circumstances, especially considering how much stress both of them are put under to find Nathaniel, and just the brands and the changes Denise is going through. Understandable that tensions are high, and when tensions are high, you're usually not at your most sensible, at your most logical, so crap's gonna happen, misunderstandings are gonna happen. But I did like how when things calmed down a bit more, they were able to talk like adults and sort things out. Especially when the whole issue of Denise changing and becoming one of the undead came up. I mean, based on what Denise knew at the time, of course she's gonna think Spade is just being prejudiced against humans. And of course, that's gonna be her logical thought of why he wants her to change over. And actually, Spade is not seeing things from Denise's point of view, because he just wants to keep her safe. In his mind, all he can think of is the last human he fell in love with was brutally murdered, and that he doesn't want to experience that loss again. And given Denise's experience with vampires, can't really blame her for not wanting to change over at the drop of a hat, even for love. So clearly can see both sides' point of view based on the knowledge they each had at the time. Can understand why they'd be upset, but I did like how they managed to get their heads out their asses and look at the other's point of view. And I did like how they managed to kind of find a compromise. How Denise was even willing to say, I don't want to change over, but I'd be willing to drink your blood and expand my lifespan and be with you that way. That way she can still be human, but Spade doesn't have to worry as much about losing her. So I like how they came to that compromise. And really that compromise wasn't even needed once Denise, at the end, didn't get her brands taken off. Meaning she, short of being stabbed with a blade of demon bone, is pretty much immune to death. You know, that works out even better. And I did thoroughly enjoy how they both kind of won in this situation. They both got what they wanted without having to change too much. To Spade, Denise is still safe. To Denise, she didn't have to turn into a vampire. Sure, she is not human like she had originally planned to be, but you win some, you lose some. She still isn't a member of the undead, which I think was the big point to begin with. And I gotta say, I do hope we see much more of these two in the future. Especially, I just especially want to see how Denise adjusts to being this shapeshifter, how she handles these powers of hers, and just what kind of effect this has on this world overall. Just another thing that I freaking loved about this book was just how the situation with Nathaniel wasn't black and white. Yes, he was beyond stupid for summoning a demon and making a deal with him, and then trying to get out of that deal. Not the smartest, But you know what? We all make stupid choices when we're young. He was only like 19 when this happened. Can't say most 19-year-olds would do what he did, but you know what? Crap happens. It's not as if, you know, he automatically knew what would happen to his descendants, and he did go through hell after all this. Spending decades being Webb's property, being used and abused like he was, kinda hard to feel like too much anger about this. It's not as if he was living it up these past like 70 plus years while Denise and her family were suffering. So I did like how there was that little, I don't know if I can call it a twist per se, but how things didn't end up being black and white, and how Denise did start to feel pity for him and decided not to just turn him over willy-nilly. I did like how she tried to risk herself to try and give everyone a good ending. Save Nathaniel, not send him with this horrible demon that will probably make his life a worse living hell. Keep her family safe, keep Spade safe, keep herself alive. That's something I find that I've been appreciating more and more and more as I've grown up. And while on that topic, I do hope you see more of Nathaniel, even just in passing, to see how he's adjusting to freedom, to being human again. It'd be interesting to like even get a quick check-in to see how he's doing, how he's adjusting. Just cause, like I've said in multiple videos, I am a sucker for details like that. I swear I had a huge list of things that I want to talk about, those being like the top of my list, but I can't for the life of me remember what else I wanted to say, so instead of just staring at the camera for the next 10 plus minutes, I'm just gonna stop myself here. So for anyone still watching, what do you think of this book? What do you think of this universe as a whole so far? Did you enjoy this addition to the universe? Did you not? Are there things that I didn't talk about that you liked or disliked? Let me know. Let's get a discussion going. So yeah, that is it for this book review, and I hope to see you guys next time.